if you think luxury SUVs are just about leather seats, quiet cabins, and playing it safe, think again, because the 2025 Porsche Cayenne GTS is here to remind you that performance and luxury don't have to live in separate worlds. In fact, this might just be the SUV bold enough to challenge the undisputed king of luxury, the Mercedes S. And the big question is, can it really pull it off? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have your answer. Now, let's start with a little context. The Porsche Cayenne has always been more than just another luxury SUV. When it first arrived in 2002, people laughed at the idea of Porsche making an SUV. Purists hated it. But here's the twist. It saved the brand. Without the Cayenne, there might not even be a modern Porsche lineup today. Fast forward 2 decades, and the Cayenne isn't just surviving, it's thriving. And the GTS trim, that's where things get especially interesting. Why? Because the GTS isn't about being the fastest or the flashiest. Porsche already has the Turbo and Turbo GT for that. The GTS is about balance. It's the sweet spot where luxury, everyday usability, and sports car performance collide. And in 2025, it's sharper than ever. Take one look at the new Cayenne GTS, and you know it's not here to blend in. This SUV wears its performance on its sleeve, but in a way that feels elegant, not overdone. The front fascia is dominated by larger intakes, feeding cool air into that hungry V8. The LED matrix headlights, slightly darkened, give it a sinister edge at night. And then there's the stands lower, wider, more planted. The standard 21-inch RS Spider wheels fill the arches perfectly, while massive red brake calipers peek through like a warning label. Around back, a quad exhaust system, finished in gloss black, hints at the music this beast can make. If you opt for the sport design package, the trim blackens out, making the Cayenne GTS look even more aggressive. It's not ostentatious, it's purposeful. This is Porsche flexing its muscles, but doing it with class. Step inside, and you'll find something Porsche does better than almost anyone else, blending performance focus with genuine luxury. The seating position is spotting high enough to command the road, yet low enough to feel sporty. Every surface is covered in a mix of premium leather, brushed aluminum, and Alcantara. The latter is a GTS signature, giving the cabin a sporty, race-inspired vibe. The steering wheel feels just right, thick, tactile, and inviting you to grip it harder. Behind it, a curved digital display keeps you informed, but not distracted. Porsche doesn't go overboard with gimmicky tech. Instead, everything feels intuitive. In the center, a crisp 12.6-inch infotainment display supports wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, alongside Porsche's own connected services. The rear seats, surprisingly comfortable, with plenty of space for adults. And with the new design tweaks for 2025, even cargo capacity has improved slightly. Porsche knows their buyers want practicality too, and the Cayenne GTS delivers. But make no mistake, every inch of this cabin whispers performance first. Now let's talk about what makes the GTS truly special. That engine. Under the hood sits a twin-turbocharged 4.0-liter V8. And this isn't just any V8. It's tuned to produce 493 horsepower and 487 pound-feet of torque. That's nearly 500 horses in an SUV that can still haul groceries, kids, and luggage. Put your foot down, and the Cayenne GTS rockets from 0 to 60 in just 4.2 seconds. That's quicker than many sports cars. And if you keep pushing, it won't stop until you hit 171 miles per hour. For context, that's faster than most entry-level Ferraris from just a decade ago. But numbers don't tell the full story. What really matters is how the GTS delivers this power. The 8-speed automatic gearbox feels calm and collected in normal mode, making city driving effortless. But switch to Sport or Sport Plus, and it transforms. The shifts snap, the exhaust snarls, and suddenly you're in something that feels alive. This duality, the ability to be both refined and ferocious, is what sets the GTS apart. Straight-line speed is easy. Handling, that's where SUVs usually fall apart. But this is where Porsche earns its reputation. The Cayenne GTS borrows heavily from the hardcore Turbo GT, with a sport-tuned adaptive air suspension that sits lower than the standard Cayenne. The result? Sharper steering, quicker responses, and a front end that feels alive in your hands. Porsche even reinforced the pivot bearings, making turn-in feel more immediate. The grip is astonishing, thanks to an advanced all-wheel drive system that's constantly shifting power where it's needed. Add in options like active roll stabilization and rear axle steering, and the Cayenne GTS corners like something half its size. And let's not forget the adaptive rear spoiler, which isn't just for show, actually adds downforce at high speed. All of this combines to make the Cayenne GTS feel less like an SUV and more like a tall, practical sports car. Now, what about tech? Porsche has always walked a fine line here. Too little, and buyers complain. Too much, and it feels gimmicky. In the 2025 Cayenne GTS, they've nailed the balance. The infotainment is sharp, responsive, and supports all the essentials like wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, and over-the-air updates. Higher trims can add luxuries like a head-up display, night vision assist, and a premium Burmeister audio system that turns the cabin into a concert hall. There's also a 360-degree camera system that makes parking this performance beast far less stressful. And while Porsche doesn't chase full autonomy like Tesla, it does offer adaptive cruise, lane keep assist, and traffic jam assist features that make long commutes less draining without taking the fun out of driving. Of course, performance is only half the story. Buyers in this segment expect the best in safety too, and the Cayenne GTS delivers with a full suite of driver assistance features: automatic emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, lane departure warning, and rear cross-traffic alert are all standard. But what really inspires confidence is the way Porsche integrates these systems. They're not intrusive. They work quietly in the background, stepping in only when necessary. Combine that with Porsche's legendary build quality, a strong crash structure, and advanced airbag systems, and you get an SUV that feels like a fortress even when you're pushing it to the limit. Pricing luxury doesn't come cheap now. Let's talk money. The 2025 Porsche Cayenne GTS starts at around $124,000, and that's before options. Add in some must-haves like the Sport Design Package, Burmeister Audio, or rear axle steering, and you could easily be looking at $140,000 or more. That's serious money. But here's the thing, people aren't just buying an SUV, they're buying the Porsche experience. They're buying an SUV that looks elegant at a gala, but can also embarrass sports cars at a stoplight. And for that blend of versatility and prestige, the price, while steep, makes sense. So how does the Cayenne GTS stack up against its rivals? Let's start with the BMW X5 M50i. It's quick, powerful, and loaded with tech, but it doesn't quite match the Cayenne's precision handling. The Audi SQ7 is another contender, offering a plush ride and strong V8 performance, but it feels more like a luxury SUV with speed, rather than a sports car in disguise. Then there's the Range Rover Sport. It nails the luxury angle, and it can go off-road in ways the Cayenne won't even attempt. But when it comes to driving engagement, Porsche has the edge. And finally, the Mercedes-AMG GLE 63. Brutally fast, dripping with tech, and luxurious to the core. But again, the Cayenne GTS feels more connected, more involving. It's less about numbers and more about the experience. So, here's the million-dollar question. Is the 2025 Porsche Cayenne GTS really the S-Class killer people are calling it? Well, that depends on how you define luxury. If your idea of luxury is pure comfort, a whisper-quiet ride, and a chauffeur-driven experience, then no, the S-Class still rules that world. But if your definition of luxury includes excitement, emotion, and the thrill of driving, then yes, the Cayenne GTS absolutely delivers. It's the rare SUV that makes your heart race, while still pampering you with all the creature comforts you could want. It's proof that you don't have to choose between passion and practicality. You can have both, and maybe that's the real story here. The 2025 Porsche Cayenne GTS isn't just competing with rivals like BMW, Audi, or Mercedes. It's carving out its own lane. It's redefining what a luxury SUV can be. And in doing so, it's proving that performance and prestige aren't opposites, they're perfect partners. Prestige aren't opposites, they're perfect partners.